So far, 12 people have been arrested out of the 16 accused in the case. I beg your pardon. The latest arrest, a civil contractor from Kannur. The victim, a 16-year-old boy, was allegedly targeted through a gay dating app called Grindr. Among those arrested are not just common citizens but individuals. Now, there are civil contractor, there is an assistant educational officer. How can I read? A railway protection force officer, and even a youth league leader. Now, it has come to the light about how the boy's mother grew suspicious because there was some behavioral changes. But I'm asking you a question. These dating apps, there are several loopholes in this. There is no age verification. Also, they only require users to declare that they are 18 or older. What does one do? You can always give a fake birth certificate, as it were. So let me now go across to an expert to speak more on this. And joining us to speak about what is really scary for many parents, Kanish God, cybersecurity and data privacy expert. Thank you so much, Kanish, for joining us on this broadcast. A very, very relevant question. Why is there no age verification? My child can join. He's 13. He can say I'm 23. What happens then? World over, in Japan, in Sweden, everywhere there is an age verification. Here, only only matrimonial sites have all those age verification things. Don't you think it's very important?
It's very important, and there are so many apps which, without doing the proper KYC check or age verification, give access to adolescents and children on these dangerous platforms which continue to operate in India. They don't even have a legal entity, they don't follow the laws and norms. There was a significant social media intermediary guideline which said all social media platform which has more than 50 lakh users need to have a chief compliance officer, a chief legal officer, and a regulatory officer who is going to work with Mighty on reporting. But so far, we have not seen that new applications which are coming in are really complying to the guidelines. So, what the government needs to do, Ministry of Electronics, particularly, they need to ban these apps. These apps need to go off from the Google Play Store. They need to go off from the your Apple Store, so that these apps can't be accessed in India. So what is required is constant monitoring and takedown of these apps, which the government needs to do.
All right. So I'm asking you something that you say they should be doing it. The questions that parents in Kerala, because this is the first case, do you know, Kanish, in Kerala, where such a thing has happened? The child has trauma for life. Today, all the parents in Kerala, not just in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, in Amritsar and Ludhiana, they are all asking just one thing. पहले क्यों नहीं किया? अब क्यों नहीं कर रहे? Why are you sleeping over it? Get on with it. What will it take for these apps? Either to, I would rather ban, I know I'm sounding like a Nazi, but in that sense, I would ban them. Or else, what is taking them so much time? What are they waiting for? Christmas?
See, the online space has got evolved in India and the laws are way behind. We are 10 to 15 years behind in terms of our IT
Oh,
laws. Now,
Lord.
most of the businesses today are run through online ads, and the Gen Z is completely hooked onto social media, right? If you shut down these apps, you have seen what has happened in Nepal. There was a protest and the government came down. So we need to understand the power of these apps and the social stigma which has been there, that these apps can't do anything. Today they can control lives, they can get youngsters to be influenced in terms of what they should be doing. So we should not underestimate the influence these social media apps have on our younger generation and society today. So what needs to be done is that we need to evolve our legal and regulatory measures on these apps on a real time basis and see what impact it has on the larger society. And crime is a state subject. The state government also need to take cognizance of these facts and come out on guidelines on which apps should be banned, which apps they should basically ensure they need to send legal notices. Now, after this episode has happened, I'm not sure whether there is a grinder entity in India where legal notice can be sent. The notice would be sent to a company which would be in Cayman Islands, and that is how these apps basically obscure and abstain from following the law of the land. That's why what you need is any
Yeah.
such apps need to have local presence in India, so you can arrest the people who are not following the laws. Any app which does not have legal presence in India that should not be allowed to operate.
Absolutely.
Because it
Even
is-
I'm saying they should. Kanishk is absolutely right. They should not be allowed to operate. And Kanishk, you know who are the adults who are there in this? I'm saying this because usually we'll say, oh, they were not No, it's a civil contractor, assistant educational officer, railway protection force officer. Are we serious here? These are people. They were involved in exploiting this 14-year-old. You know what, Kanish, before I let you go, a lot of parents say, oh, I don't allow my child, I only allow this much time or else I confiscate the phone. This child had a phone, it was under, maybe my mother monitored it. But the mother didn't know that he was using also a laptop, or maybe he was on a desktop or whatever. How much can the mother or the father or anybody else kind of monitor? Don't you think the only way is to ban them or to put that thing age verification, or it'll just get out?
Absolutely, Sudhaji, you need to have something called as age gating. And if minors are using the SIM, uh, those SIMs need to be monitored for safety and security. Now, today in the Western world, there are devices through which it does not allow specific apps to be downloaded on phones, which are considered unsafe for teenagers. And there are SIMs which are given specifically for allowing teenagers and adolescents to use. And these SIMs are issued with verification and validation from the parent. So the phones are designed in a way that these unsafe apps can't operate. I think there is a strong need in India. If we are giving phones to our children and to adolescents, there should be age gating and there needs to be control even at
Okay.
device level and even at Android Play Store level
All right.
or Apple Play Store level.